비트코인 장이 회복세를 보이다가 다시금 지지부진한 지금 힘드신 분들도 많을 것 같은데요. 오늘은 최근에 캐나다의 유명한 임상심리학자이자 토론토대학 교수의 비트코인에 관한 의견을 소개해 보겠습니다. 지루할 수 있는 주제들에 대해서 번뜩이는 통찰력으로 전 세계인들에게 영감을 준 조던피터슨입니다. 현재도 수많은 국가를 돌며 그의 작품과 저서에 대한 강연을 펼치고 있는 조던피터슨. 과연 세계적인 석학이 바라보는 비트코인과 탈중앙화에 대한 의견은 어떤 관점일까요?
Part of the reason that Bitcoin is attractive to people, you see, there was a point to all that. Part of the reason that Bitcoin is attractive to people is because we all have the sense right now, and that's certainly part of the reason why so many of you are here tonight, is that there's a little bit too much tyranny going on. And that's the collusion of large-scale enterprises at the top. And so there are attempts to push back on that by developing decentralized systems. And the idea that we could develop a decentralized standard of universal value, which is what money is a very interesting idea. I've done what I could to think through the Bitcoin proposition, and it makes sense. But that doesn't mean it's right. You know, I went to a Bitcoin conference a while back, and it was full of Bitcoin enthusiasts, and of course all they wanted to hear was enthusiastic things about Bitcoin, and fair enough, you know, because it's not like I'm a great fan of the fiat currency that allows governments to print money and inflate away value, because that punishes people who are sensible and who make the proper sacrifices. It's inflationary, as you're all seeing right now. It's a very bad idea. And to give the centralizers that power, I think it's not a good idea. Now, that doesn't mean that Bitcoin is the right solution. And part of the problem with introducing a radical solution like Bitcoin, and it's radical because it would change the way we undertake all our trade, is that it probably won't do just the things you think it will do, right? Because when you change a system that is so complex you don't understand it, like when you disrupt the supply chain to hypothetically control COVID, all sorts of things happen that you don't expect, which is what conservatives always remind liberals. It's like, don't be thinking that your revolutionary change is only going to bring about the positive things that you envision, because you don't know what you're mucking about with. And so we could, in principle, and this seems to be what's happening, is allow a variety of currencies to battle with one another on the competitive landscape. And we sort of have that internationally, because every currency has to trade against every other currency. And now we've added cryptocurrency to that mix, and that seems to me to be a good experimental option. And maybe Bitcoin will aggregate to itself the value that its adherents claim, but that remains to be seen, and it doesn't mean it's a pathway without pitfalls, right? Because we imagine Bitcoin was successful, and all of a sudden we never had any control over, we really never were able to exercise control over our monetary system again, because that's what it would mean, because it really is decentralized. And if Bitcoin and the blockchain technology truly obtained the upper hand, we would have put our economic system outside of the political domain. Now, you can make a case that maybe that would be an okay thing, right? Because you don't want the standard of value subordinate to political machination. But it also means that it's no longer subordinate to the collective will, the collective express will of the people as manifested in the electoral process. And we don't know if that would be a good thing. And it's a hell of an experiment to run, because you won't know the outcome until you can't alter the results of the experiment. So, you know, I have some investment in Bitcoin because I'm curious about it, and it's a compelling idea. It's a genius idea, but that doesn't mean that it's destined for success. So I'm pro-decentralization. I like the idea that mendacious, short-term oriented, narcissistic, power-mad politicians can't inflate the currency and steal value from people to fund their idiot pet projects. But you know, revolutionary changes usually bring about radically unintended consequences. So, and I think that's why the marketplace is still toying with Bitcoin, you know, instead of rushing headlong into its embrace, let's say. So that's what I think about Bitcoin.
요약해보자면 비트코인 맥시멀리스트들이 말하는 것처럼 비트코인이 무조건적으로 성공하리라고는 말할 수 없습니다. 또 비트코인의 절대적인 기대는 예상하지 못할 사회적, 경제적 위기를 가져올 수 있다라고 하는데요. 하지만 비트코인이 통화로서의 지위를 획득할 수 있다면, 혹은 그것과 유사한 지위를 획득한다면 다른 통화와의 경쟁을 통해서 다양한 사회적 정책으로부터 개개인을 좀 더 자유롭게 만들 수 있는 가능성이 있다고 말하고 있습니다. 물론 이런 가능성은 탈중앙화라는 성질 때문이라고 볼 수 있겠죠. 이 영상은 2023년 2월에 업로드된 영상을 바탕으로 편집과 자막 작업을 한 것입니다. 따라서 비교적 최근에 세계적인 석학 조던피터슨의 의견을 들어볼 수 있는 기회라고 생각합니다. 지금까지 땡실이었습니다.